Morning musings from the studio, this little tiny space here with my rags and stuff all over on this tiny little island. And today I am thinking about some of my bad habits this is my worst habit in my painting studio, where I just drop my brushes in and I can let them sit there for days. Like this past week and this upcoming week, I'm going to be doing just minimal painting because I have a real heavy focus on the tech side of getting this Kajabi thing going and getting all my products up and creating a mini course for you out there, anybody who wants to learn some of these foundations and some of the things that I teach, and the way that I come into my studio working with opening up my creative channel and connecting that with my actual painting. So I'm going on with that, but I come in here this morning and I'm thinking, I've left my brushes here for days and they are all with paint on them. And there's the saying that you cannot leave your brushes in a jar, and it's not the best thing to do. But the point of this morning's musings is to talk about how hopefully the older we get, the more we can accept the things that we don't do so well and embrace them, and not tear yourself down because I left my brushes in the jar for so long and haven't cleaned them. Okay, so first of all, this jar has got linseed oil in it. There's no turpentine, nothing. So at least my brushes are healthy in the sense that they're not getting dried out in turpentine. And because I use bristle brushes mostly, they can sit there for a long time and they don't get bent out of shape. They just don't. Sometimes the thinner ones, like this kind of brush, will get bent. So I can come in my studio and look at this jar of brushes in my linseed oil just sitting there with paint on them and beat myself up for it and say, God, you're just not this or that. You're just not blah, 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 whatever. Or I can come in here and say, yeah, this is what I do. This definitely is one of my weaknesses. It's one of the things that I just don't bother with when I'm in the studio. And can I change it? Of course. But there's so many other things that are more important. And they're important because when you leave your brushes in linseed oil and not turpentine, nothing happens to your brushes. They may just get a little bent. And only the synthetic brushes, like this one, right? And the thin ones. That's it. The other brushes do not. They just don't. And so you're okay. It's okay. So it's about accepting the things you don't do too well. It's about actually enjoying the things you don't do too well. And, if you think about it and those things you don't do too well are really not a big deal, let it go. Just have fun with it. I came in this morning and started laughing. That's me, right? That is me. I used to leave paint on my palette. for days, and it would dry, and then I'd have to scrape it off, and then I'd have to put down the turpentine and loosen up whatever I could underneath, and you know, that was a mess. So I don't do that anymore. But I can leave my brushes in this jar of linseed oil and they'll be fine. And you know, what is it, the FYI, for your information kind of thing, you can use any kind of oil, kitchen oil, I mean something that you cook with. You can leave them in there if you haven't got linseed oil. You don't use that oil on your painting. No, 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 no. You take them out, wipe off all the extra paint and oil, and then wash it off in your turpentine or whatever solvent you're using. And then you can paint with it just fine. It's just perfect. It's a beautiful solution for someone like me. So yeah, one of my weak spots in the studio, and I'm okay with it. You know, finally at 59, right? If this were 10 years ago, I would be beating myself up, literally, like knocking myself down because of this. And I did that for quite a long time, but now I just kind of look at it and go, it's part of who I am. And it's not detrimental to my practice. Leaving paint on my palette was a problem, so I fixed it. But the things that don't need fixing right now, I'm not going to fix them. Maybe one day when I get all the other things that I'm doing in a set pattern and routine, I'll take care of that as well and go into the, you know, washing the brushes every night. For those of you who do that, a gazillion congratulations. Good for you. I mean, yeah, I'm all for it. And I teach that is the thing to do. But if you don't do that, you know, you can leave your brushes in a jar of linseed oil and they can sit there for a long time. A long, 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 long time. I mean, as long as there's oil in there and the paint isn't drying off, they can sit there for months, right? I don't suggest that, but they can. So today in the studio, aside from accepting my weaknesses and my faults and the things that I just don't do so well and being pretty happy with myself today, I've got other things to do. And one of the main ones, of course, is finishing up getting this tech stuff done and getting the Kajabi thing set up. It's taking me a while, and of course, because it's not my thing. But you know, I do what I can do, and I have a class today, so I'm excited about that. And that's pretty much all I'm going to put on my plate today. Definitely going to work in the flowers of my pet portrait. I'm so excited. I found the perfect ones for her. And I'll probably put a post up somewhere about that and what the flowers mean and how they fit into her character. And that's pretty much all I've got for today, and I'm not going to push myself any farther. So I will see you all tomorrow. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Be inspired, be creative, be you with all of your faults, and enjoy it. All right? Take care.